Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Friday, November 25th, 2016. It's being reported that Fidel Castro has passed away today at age 90. In a moment, we'll look at CNN's reporting. You will notice that in their article, in the very beginning, they emphasized that Cuba is only 90 miles from Florida. And here's Fidel Castro, the former president of Cuba, dead at 90. As you will see, dead by the numbers, dead by a very specific number that connects him to the United States of America. In case you're not familiar with Fidel Castro, he was the sworn enemy of the country. He threatened the United States with nuclear attack when he partnered with Russia, the Soviet Union, the communists against the Democratic Republic. Really, all this time, all it's ever been is a New World Order puppet show, duping the people of this world into thinking that there's false threats, intimidating them, instilling fear in people's lives. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest in a neighborhood where the time the homes were built, the backyards, they all had bomb shelters in them for the most part. So, this is all part of a long, ongoing cycle of propaganda, fear, intimidation, keeping people under the thumb of Big Brother, always saying there's a boogeyman out there that's going to get you. Fidel Castro used to be that boogeyman. And that boogeyman is a real enemy for a lot of Americans. I learned that in 8th grade when I was suspended for a day, and after my suspension was over, I was put into a different English core classroom for 8th grade, and this is why. We were given an assignment. Keep in mind, as an 8th grader, I was a really good student, but I was really bored with school because I felt it was too easy and we kept learning the same things over and over. Anyway, in 8th grade, we were also given this assignment, which to me felt a little bit childish. We were supposed to dress up in a costume as a hero from history and give a presentation as if we were that person. So when I showed up for class that day and it was my turn to present, I had dressed up as Fidel Castro and presented the narrative of Fidel Castro being a hero. My teacher was so disgusted, I was taken to the office. The principal was disgusted, so I was sent home. And when I came back, they made a decision to put me in a different 8th grade classroom with this woman that was supposed to be this really strict teacher. Anyway, just think about it. I learned something as an 8th grader. I learned that you could not really express your mind or show that you have a sense of humor or that you have your own opinion. The way the authority saw it at my school was, I was totally out of line and I was honoring someone that was a villain. I learned from a young age we're not free. I was too smart for school. So anyway, Fidel Castro, him and I, we have a little history. Let me show you why he died today. Why today? And we're going to talk about what's so interesting about Fidel Castro's birthday in light of what I've been talking about a lot the last couple of weeks, the Berlin Wall. We'll get to that. The headline from CNN, Fidel Castro is dead. Gematria of 73, just like the word sacrifice, also like the word united. And trust me, Fidel Castro, the presidents of the United States, they're all united in the New World Order puppet show, which is run by the Freemasons and Zionist Jew banker tyrants. Talk about what his death has to do with them today as well. Fidel Castro was president of Cuba from 1959 to 2008. That's 49 years. Perfect for his name. Fidel Castro equals 49. So does Washington, 49, special number of revelation, book of prophecy, where the name Philadelphia comes from, the original capital of the U.S. If you do the S exception on Fidel Castro, his name sums to 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. Special numbers, Freemasonry running the show. Him dying on Black Friday could be coincidental, but Black Friday has the gematria of 47, like the word president. Notice he's died at age 90 in the year 2016. 90 and 16, the only two numbers written out that sum to 33. When he was part of the rebel group that overthrew the leadership of Cuba on the way to president, that uprising came out of the Tupamaro movement, which came out of Uruguay, the only 33 nation in South America. Remember, 33 is the number of Freemasonry, which believes in divide and conquer. And this gang figures out how to divide people among race, religion, political party, and everything else. Divide and conquer is the gang, Tupamaro, communists, socialist, all these different names, all these different labels to divide us. For the record, Americas, the plural has gematria 33. Uruguay, the only 33 country in South America. Mexico equals 33 in North America. So Fidel Castro, he was born on August 13th, which is the anniversary date of the construction of the Berlin Wall. Just did a number of major videos on Donald Trump, the Berlin Wall, and John F. Kennedy. And think about JFK, Bay of Pigs, Fidel Castro. JFK went to the site of the Berlin Wall just before his assassination. Berlin Wall construction began the same year he became president. Time of Castro, who'd become president in 59. Think about it. The Berlin Wall, communism, Castro, the United States of America. Now you have Donald Trump announced as the 45th president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall when he's talking about building walls. And he's also talking about how great Putin is and Russia is. These are all riddles before us. We're living out a narrative. We're living out an agenda. All of these people that sell us out are actor agents, from Castro to Trump to the rest of the presidents we've had in this country. Castro's full name, Fidel Alejandro Castro Ruz, gematria of 104. Look at this. From his birthday, his 90th birthday to today is 104 days. Jerusalem in gematria equals 104. Jerusalem has a USA right in the middle. 7/4/1776, our date of establishment, 104 numerology. And if you think that's a coincidence, look up the One World Trade Center in New York that's 104 stories tall. 1,776 feet. This is not a coincidence. These are the numbers of the Freemasons, the Zionists. They're the gang that's into this gematria. They're the gang that runs our governments, our media, our banking, that codes this way, and they've done it all throughout history. They've even had their musicians record songs about how they do it. Check out the song from 1983, Murder by Numbers by the Police. It's about this very thing right here. It tells you it's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. Which is exactly what gematria is. Alphabetic order into numbers. If you do the S exception on his name, he only has one S. It also sums to 113, number of mainstream, dishonest, Scottish for Scottish Rite Freemasonry. He was born on a date with 47 numerology, the number of president. Go back and look at his brother's death and what that had to do with Freemasonry as well. They talk about how he outlived 6 U.S. presidents. He outlived 6. 6 has gematria 52 like prophecy. Freemasons go by the prophecy code, Book of Revelation. Again, Fidel Castro 49 like Washington, like Revelation. JFK in history died on a date with 52 numerology as well. Special number. When you write out 652, he outlived 6 U.S. presidents. I'll link this if you want to read the whole article. Again, Berlin Wall. Construction began August 13th, 1961. On Castro's birthday. He would have been 35 then. Remember, JFK was the 35th president. The word Catholic equals 35. Only Catholic president. Catholics, Jesuit order. Earlier this year, Obama went to Cuba. The first time a president went there since Calvin Coolidge. Calvin Coolidge went there 88 years ago. Remember, Trump equals 88? Important number. Calvin Coolidge's full name sums to 88. Calvin Coolidge, just those two parts, sums to 68. Donald John Trump in Pythagorean gematria is 68. Interesting parallels here. 68 was the year of 2 major assassinations, Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., both by the numbers. But 88, the Trump number, 88 years since anyone went to Cuba. Donald Trump, the Berlin Wall, now Fidel Castro. To me, the picture is becoming more clear. They're taking us back in time, Castro and all that was the product of the end of the Second World War. Trump on the campaign trail talking about World War. Hillary saying Trump would take us to World War. He can't even control his tweets. Earlier this year, Fidel Castro's brother died, Ramon Castro. He died February 23rd, 223. Masonic and Jewish gematria equals 223. The synagogue of Satan equals 223, the name from Revelation for the false Jews who are said to rule in the end times. Those are the Zionist Jews. Control our money, control our media, control our government. I didn't check this. Let's just see what the distance is in dates from his brother's death to his own death. Could be interesting here. February 23rd, 276 days, or a span of 277. Off the top of my head, I don't know anything specific about those numbers. Let's see if 277 is a prime. It's the 59th prime. Huh. That's interesting because he became president in 59, and the word kill in Jewish gematria equals 59. So does the name John F. Kennedy. That is interesting. 277 days from his brother's birthday. The prime number is always super important to this gang. President 59, 59 the kill number. See how they do this, Truth Seeker? These Freemasons are clever. They built our language. They built our calendar. Remember, Gregorian equals 58. Calendar equals 58. Freemasonry 58. Secret Society 58. Obama, the day he went to Cuba, March 21st, that was a date with a life lesson number of 33. 3 plus 21 is 24. Plus 2 plus 1 plus 6, 33. Life lesson number 33 that day. Number of Freemasonry. Network of Freemason puppet actors selling us out. That day can also be written 21/3, like 213, number for Nimrod, original Freemason from the Bible. You could also look at it as 321, like a countdown. So there it is, True Seeker. That's why Fidel Castro is dead today. It has everything to do with the gang that runs this world, the Freemasons, the Zionists. We're not a sovereign nation. This isn't a free country. It's a nation of brainwashed, not just a nation, it's a world. It's a world of programmed, brainwashed people, people following orders, following lies, hating the truth. You know, in 8th grade, when I gave my presentation pretending to be Fidel Castro, I was already having to find a way to keep, the world interesting. It was just, this world is just, I don't understand why so many people just tolerate it and accept it. It runs on negativity, lies, stress, all these things that are unnecessary. So many people just put up with it, tell themselves that's the way it has to be. As an eighth grader, I said, I already got to shake things up. I've had enough with Christopher Columbus. Why is Christopher Columbus so great? How's he any different than this Fidel Castro guy, To me, I saw Fidel Castro as this guy that didn't like the world the way it was, so he was taking it back. Tony Montana style. You ever watch that movie with your gematria goggles on? Watch the scene where Tony Montana murders his boss and takes over. Look at the time on the clock, 3:30. Look at the TM on the abbreviation behind his head. T, the 20th letter, M, the 13th. 20 plus 13, 33. 33, number of the gang. They put it in your history books. They put it in your movies. Same people running the show. And of course, Tony Montana was from Cuba. Till next time, True Seekers.